ahead and start off, and I'll banter.
The banter, okay.
I'll banter back and forth.
All right, so welcome everybody to our very first podcast on this channel. This is a channel known as what we decided it was SJT.
Where are you getting the S from?
Oh wait, you're right.
There's no S between the three of us here.
You're right. It's
CTJ.
CTJ.
Yes.
That's right.
CTJ.
Right. That makes way more sense.
Yes.
Because my name does not start with an S.
Nor does mine.
No, yeah, it doesn't start with either one. So I guess we'll just kind of like intro it a little bit and then go into what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
So this channel is going to be mainly just talking about just video game knowledge, just video game news.
All that is up and coming in the world of gaming.
Yeah, and we were going to do other smaller channels to kind of do... we kind of want to make this a giant just brand of, video game, like, reviews, gameplays, reactions, doing anime stuff.
Like branch off of branch.
Yeah.
We'll have like a main channel, and then off of that we'll branch from like CTG game, CTG anime.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Names will become more.
So who is CJ or CTJ? Dude,
This is gonna be an issue for you, isn't it?
It is.
I'm dyslexic and I can still get this right.
Too. So I'm the C in this. My name is Chris. I just a little backstory. I've been playing games for my entire life. Love to do these sort of things with just talking about video games. And finally, I have some people to talk to. Kind of have the same sort of passion that I do. So the J is here.
The J is here.
The T,
and let's face it, the J is all you need.
The T is missing.
The T is missing.
The T is Thomas.
Off in Japan.
He's off in Japan. No, he's not able to be here. He will be here quite frequently throughout the podcast. Hopefully we can make him more of a routine member.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of knowledge too that we would like to bring on and do some content with him. I think he'd be really, really funny.
Even if he can't be here, we can always do it through Discord.
Yeah, we can figure out a way to do it. So, and then I'll let you introduce yourself as the J.
I'm the J, the most important part of the grouping here.
Okay.
Let's face it. Backstory on me, I've been gaming all my life. More probably than C has. Let's face it.
Maybe.
I'm better at everything. Gaming has been a huge part of my life. I've always been into gaming ever since I was very little. It's just been something that's always brought me joy. And talking about games with other people who enjoy them as much as I do is just very relaxing. It gives you a good sense of time. Passes by quite quickly.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
That's it. That's all I got.
So hopefully you guys enjoy this. We're gonna as we go on with doing these, they will get better. They will also get
bigger,
better,
faster
explosions.
We
Michael
can rebuild
Bay.
him.
Michael Bay will.
This podcast brought to you by Michael Bay.
We're gonna continue to add things to it just to make it better. So also just let us know what you guys would like us to do in the gaming talk about wise in the gaming universe. We're open to discussion. But today we are going to be going over the E3 conference because there's not enough E3 breakdown videos already.
No,
but we wanted to start with
none
something
that matter anyway.
No.
Ours is the only one you really need to go to.
I think this will be a good starting point for the podcast. Just talking about this big event that only comes around once a year. Yeah.
The Blue Moon. So
the first thing that we were going to talk about was just kind of overall the best and worst conferences that we got to see this year.
Oh yeah.
So give me your breakdown of the main ones. We won't include the PC and gaming show just because
PC's its own little realm.
Yeah,
it got its own thing.
Yeah, and it's it's probably the smallest conference out of everything. So there's no real reason to come over it too much.
I don't know if I could argue the smallest. Then again, in my breakdown, I'll discuss all that.
Yeah.
So the way I broke it down was from best to worst. Square Enix definitely stole the show for me. Been a huge fan of them, but they just blew everyone else out of the water with all the games they released and such. After that came Microsoft. They had a lot of good stuff that they showed. After that was Ubisoft. I've always been a big fan of them. Then it was Nintendo. And I gotta say, Bethesda was just not good.
You have to say it?
I have to say it.
Can we just not say it?
I mean, I feel like we owe it to the people to tell them
I wish we didn't have
how bad Bethesda was this year. Giant letdown.
So just to clarify, so you went Square Enix, Xbox, Ubisoft, Nintendo, and Bethesda.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's pretty similar. Square Enix was just the best.
Right.
Xbox, I put Nintendo above Ubisoft. And truthfully, if I'm being honest, I think Ubisoft is like tied with Bethesda for being the worst.
See, your opinion is your own.
I thought it was garbage.
See, but you don't like the games as much as I do. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed.
It's true.
That's one of their big hitters, and they didn't announce that this year.
Yeah, but you get to see an orchestra play for 5 minutes.
This is true.
So,
and was it or was it not amazing?
it was cool.
There you go.
Cool. I would much rather a Final Fantasy one, but we'll get that's
obviously
different. Different day. So we can agree, Square definitely the best,
stole the
and
show.
Bethesda being probably the worst.
Oh God, yes.
So yeah, so with Square, do you want to start at the top? Like,
you know what? Yeah, let's start at the bottom.
Okay.
Work our way up to a grand finale.
so we'll start with the trash can that was Bethesda.
Trash can.
It was, they came out the door with bullshit.
Oh God, yeah.
You can't. So they came out talking about Fallout 76 and Todd Howard.
Don't even get me started on Fallout 76.
They just came out and said, hey, yeah, cool DLC. They're bringing back NPCs, which is good. I mean, it should have been on release.
It's the only upside to it, though.
Yeah.
It's a phrase that I don't use as often as I'd like. You're polishing a turd.
Yeah.
You're polishing a piece of shit.
It was really bad. It was really bad. And I think, they did like some of the quest lines and things that that they announced was really cool in my opinion, because
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Me and Jake bought Fallout 76 when it came out. We played for probably 3 months straight, like
oh yeah,
every day.
It was a long time,
6 hours a day.
Oh yeah,
and then we just got bored of it. And what killed me is that they announced all this cool stuff. I'm like, okay, me and you watched it together. We're like,
right, yeah,
they're making a step in the right direction,
right?
And then
they just took 8 steps
Royale.
back. Oh God,
they said, hey, what would make this better is adding Battle Royale.
No.
And you could tell the crowd, outside of the people who got paid to,
clap and cheer.
Yeah, they 100%. There's no way someone who is not being, told to say this, like being held hostage.
Oh yeah,
would agree to clapping for Battle Royale in Fallout 76.
I'll bring it back to BlizzCon. I think BlizzCon. It was either BlizzCon this year. I don't think BlizzCon maybe not have happened yet.
Oh,
I'm not
with
sure.
the Diablo thing?
Diablo Mobile, where even the developers on the stage were like, "What? You guys don't have phones? Like, no, we don't want this. Give us good things, and we'll cheer."
That's a whole other thing.
Oh God.
So Bethesda just not being very, very good. They had some cool moments. They had
the intro trailer to Elsewhere.
Ghostwire Bay.
Yeah.
Whatever her name was. I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't remember how to pronounce her name. We kind of agreed on that with
it looked vaguely
with
interesting.
Bay.
Yeah.
With Anime Bay, as I call her.
Yeah, we'll find her name out hopefully.
Yeah.
At QuakeCon.
I don't remember what her name was. I feel bad because they said it. I just don't remember.
Right.
But that game looked interesting, and
to say the least, interesting.
Yeah.
It's caught my eye.
Yeah, it caught my eye. Obviously, we didn't see any gameplay. We just saw a trailer, which those are always misleading.
Exactly.
But they announced Doom, which I'm not a big Doom fan. They talked about Rage 2, the expansions, which Rage 2, another one of those games I'm not gonna play.
Yeah.
So I was really looking forward to something about Elder Scrolls.
Oh yeah.
Not Blades, which I know you play Blades.
Blades is entertaining, but it's not the Elder Scrolls we were promised. What, last year?
Yeah.
Valen something?
Something, yeah.
Valenwood.
That name's probably gonna change.
It probably. I don't know. Elder Scrolls is pretty set on their stuff. I think it was Valenwood.
Something like that.
And I've always loved the Elder Scrolls series, and I was very excited to hear something about 6. And they just kind of left us all hanging with Blades. We're like, well, we already knew about this.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with just that. I wanted something for 6. And I know they're like, oh, we're not gonna announce anything, but with the lineup that you had, they're really
you needed something
doubling down on Doom.
Oh, they put everything on Doom.
Yeah,
and they're doing the same thing with QuakeCon. They're calling QuakeCon Year of Doom.
Yeah,
they're putting everything on Doom.
Aren't they doing like DoomCon?
Well, it's DoomCon, but it's QuakeCon.
Oh yeah, it's like inside.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could transition from how bad Bethesda did to how well Square Enix did.
Oh God, yeah.
Now there is gonna be one thing we don't agree on with Square, and that's the Avengers thing.
Yeah. See, I'm all for it.
See, I want it to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer looked really, really cool.
Yeah.
I don't like that we didn't get to see really any gameplay. We saw like little
bits and pieces.
Yeah. And I don't like the cast.
Well, see, here's the thing. They have since announced that they are giving out DLC characters through free DLC after the game launches. And seeing as how things went over so poorly at E3, they might be adding Hawkeye to the list of day one heroes you can play as.
Which, why the hell is he not in it?
Because even in the comics, he's never been always listed as an Avenger because he goes off and becomes Ronin.
He's the savior of the entire universe. All right, we're not gonna spoil the movie.
Yeah. But even in the comics, Hawkeye always goes off and does his own thing, being Ronin.
Yeah.
That's why he's not always considered an Avenger.
I would much rather Hawkeye than Black Widow.
I definitely can agree with you on that. I've never been a huge fan of Black Widow. And that's not because she's a woman. Because I know that's going to be a huge thing with a lot of people. That's always something I always get crap for.
Yeah, I think if someone's like, hey, take out the only woman character.
Right.
But that's not why. I mean,
no,
I
it's
think
just because I've never been a big fan.
I would rather Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I would rather somebody else in the universe that we have that's not Black Widow. But I know she's the main character, so we kind of have to do it.
Right.
But I don't like the guy who's playing Tony Stark. The guy who plays Cap is fine.
Nolan North?
Yeah. No.
You don't like Nolan North?
I'm comparing it to Robert Downey Jr. And
See,
I know they're not going to get him.
And I think that's where you're pulling it wrong because this is not the MCU.
I know. But I just being so attached to it.
I feel it.
So that I didn't like that. Hank Penn, the little thing that they showed where Hank was like super young. He's like in his looks like he's in like his 30s or 40s.
Well, because Scott's the MCU. Hank Pym is always the Ant-Man in the comics.
So I was just like it was cool. It was cool. I definitely think they shouldn't have had that in the show.
Well, I think that might have been an exclusive for PlayStation though, because they're partnering with PlayStation on this, and that might be an exclusive hero for them.
It could be
Ant-Man.
That I meant just like the trailer.
Right.
Like Avengers in my opinion, shouldn't have ended Square's thing. I think they should have come with something else. Like if they would have ended with 7.
See, I think they made the smart choice by announcing 7 first, but we'll get into that a little later.
Yeah.
Because we'll have a whole cover on 7.
Oh yeah, we got it.
I definitely think it was smart for them to end the Avengers because they announced the Avengers Square team up 3 years ago.
It's true.
And we haven't seen anything for it until just last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it was definitely a very strong point for them. As much as backlash they may have gotten, I think it was still very strong for them.
The real strong point though with Square was
their RPGs.
Was 7.
Oh yes.
Was what else did they announce? That's all that really matters.
Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the Switch.
Yeah.
Remastered.
That looks cool.
You've got
that's the 4-player game, right?
Yeah, that's the multiplayer one. It's the one that was on the DS ages ago.
Yeah, it looks like Gauntlet.
Yeah,
or like Diablo. Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't play anything like that though.
Is it turn-based?
No, it's more like an action RPG.
Okay,
but it doesn't play like.
So we had that. We had
different. You got the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius spin-off, War of the Visions, which I'm a big fan of. Brave Exvius.
So I've watched some gameplay of BE. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, this is cool.
It's a game on your phone. It is what it is, but it's good for that.
They showed War of Visions, and they showed that it's like
it's a tactic.
It's tactics.
It's tactics, but based off the new universe.
They sold me. I'm going to buy it.
It looks pleasing, and from what I remember playing Tactics growing up, it looks like it brings to the table. Then again, Square always does brings to the table what they've always promised.
Yeah.
I've never been left short with a Square Enix game. That's me personally, though.
Final Fantasy 13? 3?
We don't talk about that. I don't know what you're talking about. That game doesn't exist, sir.
You're right. So we had that. They showed off Shadowbringer. I almost said Stormbringer.
With the 2 new classes, Dancer and Gunbreaker.
So that looked really cool. They showed off a lot of stuff for that.
And the 2 new classes, not classes,
races.
The Hrothgar and Viren, whatever, the bunny people from 12.
Yeah, the bunny people.
I'm not gonna butcher that. The bunny people.
So that was cool. I think They did. They're doing the remake or the
remaster of 8.
Yeah, the remaster.
Very
of 8.
fond of 8.
Me too. I like.
It gets a lot of backlash because the story is kind of confusing, but if you pay attention, it's not that hard.
No, it's. I mean, it's less confusing than like playing through Kingdom Hearts, which also got announced.
The DLC, which I'm very excited for because I think they're going to delve more into the background of more or less than the Kingdom Hearts characters that we all grown to know, love, Sora, Kairi, Riku, Axel, those guys, but more delve into the background of each organization member, like Zigbar at the very end.
I would like that. I think
Zigbar becoming not who we thought he was, and then Luxord, Luxord, however you pronounce his name, him kind of knowing something, but not really keying out what it is, and then that whole like card business that he threw Sora at the end.
There's a lot of little things that they threw.
Things that they happy they're kind of touching on.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good stuff that Square showed off. Although, how strong Square was, Xbox did a good job, which we'll kind of get into a little bit later. Nintendo was, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Even Ubisoft had some moments.
Yeah.
Even with all of this stuff, though, I think we can both agree, and I think most people will agree, that we definitely missed Sony.
Oh yeah.
Being here. Now I know Sony is going to be doing a state of play, which has not, as of the recording of this podcast, has not aired yet.
Yes.
I think it's supposed to end at the end of the month. Is what I thought.
It might. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if they've officially announced what day that's happening.
I thought it was supposed to be during last week, but I guess they didn't do it.
They wouldn't do that.
I mean, the end of this week. I'm sorry. But it's Saturday now, so.
Right.
So, without Sony really being there, like
there's a lot left unsaid.
Yeah. Now I know whenever they do their conference, if they show us what we want to see, I'm changing my tune. But if we get a ton of VR games again,
I have certain expectations,
and we just see Death Stranding stuff, I'm gonna be real pissed because. I'm sorry. I'll let you go in a second.
All right, go for it.
I was about to oof.
You're good.
So
go off.
I was about to. So I want to see God of War stuff.
Yeah.
Game's been out for a while. At the end, when they show Odin, there's hints about them doing 4 more games in the series.
Thor, not Odin.
Thor, whatever. Yeah.
Completely different
Odin's
beings.
son.
Completely different beings here.
Yeah.
One being the king of Asgard.
Hammer
the other
Man.
being Hammer guy.
Hammer Man.
Hammer time.
So, showing that, then we haven't seen anything about it yet. I want to see stuff about that.
Yeah.
I want. Heck. Show me a 5-second trailer of a possible Venom game made by Insomniac, the people who made Spider-Man, or another superhero game in that. I mean, I know we saw Avengers, so that's probably. I know someone's gonna say, "Well, that's
especially
superhero
seeing
game."
as how they're partnering with.
I want a Venom game. I want a Daredevil game, but that's just me. Ghost of Tsushima was not showed at all so far.
No, we haven't heard about that in a while.
We saw it last year.
Yeah.
We saw gameplay last year.
Yeah. Look,
where is that at? I want to see some of that. I know The Last of Us is done recording now. I track Naughty Dog's Twitter like an obsessed teenager.
Oh yeah.
We haven't seen anything about that.
Nope.
So
just got pushed back too.
Yeah. So like, I'm just.
Sony's definitely got some slack to pick up.
I want to see some stuff because Sony could end up having a worse conference than Nintendo and Xbox. Like they could be the bottom because of this whole long wait.
Yeah.
Like
they're definitely building hype that they have.
Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct for their E3 conference.
Yeah, smart.
Which PlayStation could have did that. If PlayStation has nothing to show, that's really bad.
Yeah,
it's really bad. Which we'll kind of get into a little bit later in another topic, but. Go ahead. You can continue your thought there.
Well, like you said, I definitely have some expectations that Sony definitely needs to pick up on, given that they weren't here at E3 and they've built this hype that they need to again just pick up the slack for. Given that Microsoft is starting to pick up more Xbox and Xbox 360 games into their backwards compatibility, I think Sony needs to. Really need to delve into that. They need to announce some form of backwards compatibility that's not just the PS4. I think it was dumb for the PS4 when on launch not to play the PlayStation 3 games because there weren't that many games out on launch. They definitely need to announce more than just the PS4 to keep up with Microsoft. I definitely want more single-player games more or less than multiplayer games. I'm not one for multiplayer games in its entirety. I am more of a let me escape into this world of something different rather than let me pal around with a bunch of people I meet online.
Right. So that's I think the big thing for me, and you kind of touched on it, was in pre-production is so we're talking about Sony, right?
Yeah.
Sony. So what Bethesda's doing with mobile games is what Sony's doing with VR.
I need to see more about the PS5. I'd like to see details about the PS5.
Yeah, they can talk about anything, you know? And I think them trying to double down on VR is probably saying that the VR is probably going to come with the PlayStation 5, which we don't, I don't know that.
It'd be smart if they did.
It would, but...
Especially if they want to keep producing this. No one's going to buy a new system and then also go out and buy a VR. I did that, and it was expensive as hell.
Very true. It's a lot of wasted money going into that.
I don't even use my VR that much. It's because there's really not that many large games out for it.
I wouldn't really even use it either, to be completely honest with you. All right, and that kind of rolls into our next topic, which was, what are we most excited about that was announced? You could go ahead, and I know the two big ones that we want to talk about, and you can go ahead and talk about the one you want to, and I'll just do the other one. Because there's really, for us, there's a clear cut 1A, 1B, and then everything else just kind of falls below that.
Oh yeah, like there's definitely two games that stole the show for both of us that I think we can 100% agree on. So do you want to start off with those right off the bat, or do we want to lead up to that?
I'll just start with them.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take Dragon Ball Kakarot.
I figured you would.
I'm gonna take Dragon Ball Kakarot because I mean, what's not to love about it? I got One Piece World Seeker based on the fact that it was an open world One Piece game, and that's one of my favorite animes.
Yeah.
So the fact that they are now making an open world Dragon Ball Z game based around Goku, the main character, which is arguably, people can say it's not the main character, but aside the fact, it looks stunning. The fight scenes look amazing. The vastness of the open world, stunning. The small characters like Ader that they threw in that people probably forgot about.
The one thing, you can probably ask me, you could probably, so they showed off a gameplay for it.
Oh yeah, like a good 30 minutes.
Everything was in Japanese.
Nope, English.
Was it in Japanese?
It is fully voice acted by the actors of Funimation.
I didn't watch it. I know you watched it, so I'm gonna have you talk about it.
The interview they did was the creator, and that he spoke Japanese. They had to have a translator for that. But the entire game, a little bit later, near the back half of it, where they go to fight Frieza and they show Goku fishing. Sean Schemmel.
And
Christopher R. Sabat.
Okay, that's.
It is fully voice acted. I'm assuming it sounded almost damn near like them. They have not officially announced that yet, but it is voice acted in English.
Sean didn't voice Goku throughout the entire everything, did he?
He did and he didn't. He was on and off for a while, but now they've nailed the pin on the head.
So it's an open world Dragon Ball game
in English, which is a huge thing for me.
It looks like it's starting at the end.
Demon King Piccolo.
So which is Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Goku's adult life.
But it's Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball, but his adult life, yeah.
Yeah. So it's ending. It's after the tournament with Tien.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff, and it's when him basically when he takes out Piccolo, and Piccolo throws up the A.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So then it goes from that, and from what we see,
goes
a lot of speculations. It goes through a lot through Frieza.
Yeah.
Which we both agreed there's a good amount of content, but there's no way it's gonna end at Frieza.
I can't believe it to end at Frieza. Given from what we know, even if they end it or begin it at Demon King Piccolo, where Goku adult beats Piccolo, then we jump into Dragon Ball Z. From that point, you have to think about it. It goes from Raditz, which was a very short saga. Then it goes to Vegeta and Nappa. Kind of longer, but still very short.
Well, Goku dies. So
but
are we going to run the...
God, I hope not. Part of me wishes I do, but part of me wishes I don't. But see, even that point, it's still very short between that Raditz to Nappa and Vegeta.
Yeah.
And then from Vegeta, it's straight to
Frieza,
Frieza.
and then Ginyu Force, Ginyu, back to Frieza.
Right, but even at that point, it just doesn't
Namek
seem
blows up.
like enough. And the open worldness they're putting into this game, it does not seem like it's enough to make it as open world as they're saying it's going to be.
So we have a while. It comes out in March.
I think it comes out next
March.
year. Yeah.
No, they said early 2020.
Yeah,
that's what they said, which could be.
We're
February.
assuming March.
Yeah, we're assuming March. There's
It's
a lot of other games
open to
coming out in
change.
March.
Yeah.
If I see, we're gonna see other trailers, obviously. If we don't see anything about, if I don't see a Cell, a Boo anywhere, I don't know if I'm gonna buy it on release because I'm not paying $60 just to play through Frieza Saga. In my opinion, I know you'll buy it.
Oh yeah.
So I may just borrow it from you, but I'm not gonna pay $60 just to fight through Frieza. And I don't, at least from what I've seen so far, I'm not sold. I know you are. But the game that I am sold on is Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Ooh.
which looked phenomenal. They
did.
took a lot of the, what's that like? Is that your feet?
It might be.
I don't know if that's gonna pick up on that.
I've been watching. I don't think it is.
So Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
They showed off the gameplay for it. They showed off a boss battle. They showed off,
battle,
They finally showed off Tifa.
Yeah. And Aerith.
Tifa Bay. They showed off Aerith. They showed a little thing of Sephiroth.
Little
Which
bit
was
right
cool.
here.
Which was cool.
Like
there
a
was little cutscene
flashback
with
for
Reno
Cloud.
in it, wasn't it?
No. We
Reno
did
was
not
in-
see Reno.
We saw Reno's helicopter.
We saw the Turks helicopter. I don't know if we necessarily saw Reno.
We know what happened.
Quentin Flynn, though,
We
the
know.
voice of Reno.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So from what it looks like so far, it looks like Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts type of gameplay with the like you basically take Kingdom Hearts and you take the ability like the movement of 15 and like being able to swap between characters, which is phenomenal.
Right. Well, that would make sense. The same developers that made Kingdom Hearts 3 and worked primarily on 15 are making 7.
Yeah. The game looks phenomenal.
Oh,
I like
mind-blowing.
I like the slowdown feature.
Mm-hmm. The tactics mode.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit. I hope that there's a time limit on it, or at least there's a mode where you can take off where there's a time limit on it. Because in Real 7, you cannot sit there for 2 minutes and come up with a plan. It's a fast turn-based game. But then you go to like 10, and you can sit there on your character and nothing's going to happen until you make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
In 7, you do that, you're going to keep getting attacked. So
Yeah.
I just, in my opinion, to be a purist, I would like it to be a little bit faster. But I'm nitpicking. I'm literally nitpicking at it. That looks quite amazing. The collector's edition looks cool. I'm probably going to buy the deluxe because I don't want to drop $300 on
$350.
when there's going to be a system coming out that year.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Bundle, maybe?
Maybe. If they come out with a bundle later on, I'm literally going to throw my PlayStation Pro through somebody's window. I don't know what store's window,
but someone's.
But somebody's window.
I do want to touch on one thing before we move on. Very early on, when they first announced they were remaking Final Fantasy VII, I heard a lot of rumor, and I'm almost sure that Square confirmed it, that it was going to be episodic. Episode 1,
Yeah,
episode
you're talking
2.
about that, but it doesn't look like they're doing that.
It doesn't. It just says Final Fantasy VII Remake, and
Because they
I
said
don't
that
know if
it's-
they're going to do that anymore.
Well, they did say that it's a 2-disc.
Which leads me to believe that it might be just all one game.
Yeah,
Disc
I
1
think-
could be the first disc, and Disc 2 and 3 could be Disc 2.
Well, yeah, it would go up to Aerith dying, right? And then
Disc 1, maybe.
spoilers if you haven't played it since
Spoiler alert.
1997, whenever that game came out.
6.
Was it 1996? I think that was close.
8 came out.
So yeah, they would go all the way up to Aerith dying and then do everything else after that, which would be freaking awesome if they did it that way.
Right.
As long as it's not like install disc and then you play it on here.
Even that
like-
I would take
like
as long
Red
if it moved from episodic being episode 1 to episode 2, episode 3 to disc 1 install, and you've got this massive game that leads up to Aerith dying.
And
then disc 2 is all of disc 2 and 3.
And this sets Square up pretty nicely because they can do a few different things. They could do an Advent Children.
I would love to see
DLC.
a post 7 DLC.
They could do Crisis Core DLC. They could do a a sequel to 7, which is something that we've always wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean, Advent Children.
Technically is a sequel, but they could delve into a DLC that's like Shadowbringers, which is what they're saying is a DLC that's at its own could stand alone as its separate own RPG.
Yeah. So hopefully they continue doing some cool stuff with it. So we're both really excited about that.
Oh yeah.
Now from there, as we kind of touched on, it goes down for us. But there are some really cool games that are coming out.
Oh yeah.
Just to name a few that I wrote down. We have Watch Dogs Legion, which we both kind of agreed looks really, really cool. I wanted to play as the grandma.
The idea is interesting.
I wanted to play as Grandma.
Grandma, yeah.
Grandma was badass.
Grandma just shooting a guy in the face.
She was nasty.
Yeah.
So that looked kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
We had they showed off a trailer of Gears 5, no real gameplay.
Yeah.
But the big 3 for me that I wrote down,
Mm-hmm.
and you can attest to this. Borderlands 3. We've already seen gameplay for it that Gearbox announced. They showed off another trailer,
like a whole hour of gameplay.
It was amazing. Claptrap not being able to go upstairs in the trailer. He's like, no.
Yeah.
It
was great.
It felt
following the gun.
Yeah.
It was great.
The walking gun.
Yeah. Guns with legs.
It looked amazing. So Borderlands 3, Star Wars Fallen Order did not look like what I thought it was going to.
No.
It looked much better. It looked like Uncharted mixed with Star Wars. Because it didn't look like the Revenge of the Sith games.
No. I was worried that it was going to look too much like Battlefront.
I could see that.
And I wasn't a big fan of those ones. The originals, don't get me wrong.
So
Battlefront
this
2.
takes place when?
I don't know. I think it takes place in its own timeline.
Kylo Ren probably isn't in here till probably...
I think it takes place in its own timeline.
Okay. No,
I mean, and I don't think any of this is confirmed. It may or may not be. But I think it might take place in its own thing.
Sam L. I mean, I know they put...
Because he's a Jedi, but we don't know who the hell he is.
They put Forrest Whitaker in the game.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I really want Sam L. But like I said, we don't know what time...
Right. This could take place before the original trilogy, for all we know.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. So that looks kind of cool. They finally gave us some stuff about Cyberpunk. We had to see our boy Keanu.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu was like
our Lord and Savior, Keanu Reeves.
The best part of the conference.
He was breathtaking.
He was breathtaking, as we all were. That game looks a lot different than what I remember seeing from the last trailer.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I thought it was going to be like this. I thought it was going to be like The Witcher. I thought it was going to be a third-person Grand Theft Auto style.
Yeah.
Going around, because isn't that what it showed? They showed him driving around in a car.
From what I remember it vaguely from back when I thought it was called Cyberpunk 2047.
Yeah.
And I might be pulling that number out of nowhere.
I think you are.
I might be. Well, I don't know.
We'll
it's just so clear in my mind.
We'll go with it for content reasons.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It looked vastly different from what I'm remembering from what it is now, going from, like you said, a third person to a first person. Huge game.
When they showed that, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That made me so much happier to play it. And I just saw today. Mm-hmm. So you can create your own character.
Yep. Samurai.
You can make them transgender.
Really?
And there was another one that they said. So
well, it would make sense. Keanu is a very big supporter of that.
Yeah. But they're allowing you to create you. You can do whatever you want. And I think that's a great selling point.
Yeah.
Is being able to say, hey, I want to make my character transgender. I want to make them
sexual?
No, not bisexual. There was another gender bending thing that they did.
There's so many I can't keep up with.
But if they put them all in the game, that's cool. That's really, really cool that you're allowing people to express themselves any way that they want to without being gender locked.
Yeah.
That's
it's really nice.
That's awesome.
It's nice to see that everyone's getting their representation that they've deserved.
And it makes sense because in the future, with the game being about, enhancing your body with mechanics.
Yeah, body augmentation.
Augmenting anything. I mean, anything's possible in the future.
Yeah.
So the game looks cool. I'm hoping for more stuff about it. They didn't really announce the Collector's Edition and Deluxe Edition, did they? Or did they show it at the end?
I think they did.
Okay.
Because I remember that guy that called Keanu breathtaking got offered one.
Oh, that's right.
But he turned it down.
Okay.
He turned it down and told him to give the money that was spent on it and give it to charity.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if Keanu, I would have still probably taken it from Keanu.
Oh, they didn't. He didn't offer it to him.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
No, the developers.
If Keanu asks you something,
you just do it. Keanu said it, so it already.
So I want to see more stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes out next year.
Yeah.
So that looks cool. Were there any? So, what else? There's Ghost Recon had the Punisher in it.
The Punisher.
Fantastic.
Don't know how you're gonna win, but hey.
Yeah, you can't really kill him.
Right.
What did you see that you were interested in?
I mean, I've got my 3 aside from the obvious of Dragon Ball and Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I love RPGs. It's my go-to kind of game whenever I'm wanting a good game to play. It's always an RPG. So the first one that comes to my mind right off the bat, Tales of Arise.
Yeah.
We didn't see too much about it. The name makes me want to believe that it's going to be part of the Tales series, like Tales of Zestiria, Berseria, Vesperia, those ones. I'm not sure if it is or not. It's made by Bandai.
I don't think it is.
But I don't think it is either. But from what I saw of it, Tales of Arise.
Oh, well.
It could be.
It's made by Bandai, right?
This is true.
Okay, so
it's possible. From what we saw at E3, the gameplay looked very, very good.
Yeah.
Cutscenes with Bandai are always amazing because it's just an anime to them. So all they have to do is do that.
Yep.
That looked really good. Obviously, Borderlands 3. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. I've been playing them for ages. Elden Ring.
Oh, I was going to talk about Elden Ring afterwards, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Elden Ring looks... I'm not a fan of Dark Souls. I get bored with them very quickly. But this looks interesting.
You also die a lot.
That's very true, but that's beside the point. It looks interesting. Again, controversial. I'm not a huge fan of Game of Thrones. I did not like it. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to differ from a George R.R. Martin book.
Well, as being a fanatic of his work, just his writing style.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal. He's like Token when it comes to how much detail he puts in the stuff.
I don't think we'll disagree on that point, but continue.
You don't like Token? It's fine.
No, I prefer Tolkien over Martin. I think you're overestimating Martin.
I don't think so.
I don't think you can put him on the same level as Tolkien. But that's a different podcast for a different day.
Yeah. I feel like he puts a lot of detail into his work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with Miyazaki running the show, making a game, From has not made a bad game from that I have played.
You're not wrong. They're not my personal favorites, but I can agree with them.
Bloodborne, Sekiro, they're awesome. I will be buying that.
Mm-hmm.
I will be buying the most expensive edition, just like I have been.
Yeah.
With Sekiro, I did it for Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3. I'm gonna be buying that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I could play this unicorn. I don't care. It's from software. I'm gonna buy it. That was really good. I want to see more though.
Yeah. And then
what else did you
the last game I want to cover, it got shown a while back. Astral Chains, another anime-ish looking game because
that is made by Platinum Games.
I think so.
That is the creators of
interesting
Bayonetta. For anyone who has never played Bayonetta, you probably should.
Oh,
she's the female Dante from Devil May Cry,
despite being all human.
Yeah,
she's a human.
Well, she's an Umbran witch.
Still a human though.
Yeah, she's a witch. Anyways,
Astral Chains.
Now it looks like you are a human. Though.
It looks like you're part of a futuristic police force battling off this.
You're like
demon.
Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
you can summon persona-like summons.
Not summon. That's what I thought it used to be. There are these demons that keep coming in through portals, and this government has thought of a way and developed a way to capture these demons and use them against them. That's where the chain comes in.
Oh, so they're using...
You throw like a collar around
chains.
And they use the chain, astral chains. You throw like a collar around it, and then you can command it to fight for you.
That's cool.
It's a very interesting concept.
In the gameplay, it looked like you could do more than one. I saw one of the fight scenes. He was using one of the maybe they're called astrals. That would be very simple. But
for now, we'll roll with it.
He captured one of the demons, and then in a later thing, he was using that demon and his maybe the standard one you get to fight. That'd be cool.
All I know is that you can capture different astrals.
That'd be cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah, it looks very interesting.
I will be picking that up.
Yeah.
When it comes out. So that looks really cool. I'm getting Fire Emblem next month, which I'm gonna let you borrow it. Fire Emblem's 3 houses. It looks amazing. It has a Hogwarts theme going on with there's different houses, and you pick your professor in one of these houses, and all of your units are basically students or faculty. Looks really cool.
So it's like Final Fantasy Type 0, but with multiple houses.
Yeah, but good.
Okay.
Luigi's Mansion 3. We can move on.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Luigi's Mansion, being honest.
2 was really fun. But
I'm
I'm past playing most Mario and Luigi games. It's not for me. Animal Crossing, someone's excited about it. It's just not us. So
I know some people. Not my kind of game.
Kind of run through the rest of this list. The Blair Witch game, which looked like it was
an Outlast kind of look.
Looked like Outlast.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about. Actually, we thought it was Outlast.
Yeah, for a while I thought it was, because of the whole camera thing.
Yeah, and then we saw the end. We're like, oh,
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch. So there's Blair Witch, Death Stranding.
But we already know a lot about that already.
It's a Kojima game, so I'll probably check it out. I'm just excited just to play something from Kojima.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Fallen Order we already talked about. Outriders, we didn't get too much information.
We saw a little bit of development.
Yeah.
Weapons. Huh?
And who made that?
Square.
That was Square, yeah.
That was Square.
Hey,
well, Square is publishing. I don't think that's
first-person shooter game made by Square, and I think Bulletstorm was one of the developers.
From the developers of Bulletstorm.
Yeah. They showed off a Rainbow Six PvE game called Quarantine, which is like Rainbow Six Siege, but you're fighting like weird ghost demon entity things. Maybe
they could take it to a classic route and just make it zombies.
Yeah.
Which I hope they don't.
I hope it's like
everything is zombies.
Weird
now.
like apparitions. That'd be
cool.
Yeah. So they showed off that. We saw a movie trailer for Master Chief coming back alive in a Halo Infinite.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, Division.
That's right.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's right. Jake Gyllenhaal. Daddy Jake. Not you.
Not me. That's weird.
He's capital J.
I don't see you that way, Jake.
He's capital J. You're a lowercase J.
All right.
That looked good.
We didn't see anything.
We just heard it.
Yeah.
The idea of it's cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully that comes out next year, probably.
Probably.
We already touched on the Avengers game. Deathloop looked kind of cool.
The concept of it is interesting, to say the least. I'll wait to see more.
No More Heroes.
Very fond of that game series. That game series is very close to my heart.
Lots of stuff. And this will kind of segue us into our next category about, a lot of these games were getting announced for next year.
Yes.
And how we feel about, a lot of these games coming out in 2020 as opposed to now.
Right. Are we even sure Death Stranding comes out now? 2019?
Yeah, comes out in November.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with the games that are coming out in 2019, we know Pokemon Sword and Shield, which they touched on a little bit in the Nintendo thing, which looks kind of cool. I probably will buy it.
I'll be picking up Pokemon Sword. I've wanted a good Pokemon game for a while to
play. Did you see the part where they were battling I know they like doing the giant thing now at Pokemon, but there was 3 other leaders. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, you're gonna need to go home and watch that. If you guys haven't watched it yet, so there is a little thing that they did after the conference where Nintendo was showing off some gameplay for it.
I didn't stop. That's where me and you stopped watching.
Okay. There's there's these giant. There's the big thing in this one is there's a giant Pokemon, kind of like the different like X Y fusions that they did in X and Y.
Okay.
And you make them really big. I forgot what it was called, but they showed a little it was like a world event, and a Pokemon trainer ran up. She started this battle, and 3 other trainers came out and battled with her to battle this boss.
Now, hang on. Could we or could we not be mistaking this for Pokemon Go? Because I know that is a current thing that's happening in Pokemon Go.
No, it's Sword and Shield.
Positive.
100%.
Okay.
Because it said Sword and Shield, and they're talking about Sword and Shield. So, but the fact you can play, if you can possibly play online with people, like in a PvE sort of platform. I know there's gonna be PvP, like with Pokemon Stadium stuff.
Yeah.
We can battle, which that's always cool. So there's Pokemon that's coming out in, they said November, October?
I believe so.
Range. November's stacked.
Holidays.
Yeah, holidays. November stacked.
Oh yeah.
Death Stranding, Borderlands
3,
Outer Worlds,
uh,
which is made
Star Wars Fallen Order.
Star Wars Fallen Order. Outer Worlds we didn't really touch on. That is the game created from Oblivion, which is the creators.
Fallout New Vegas.
Oblivion is the Obsidian. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Obsidian is the developer. They're the creators of the best Fallout game ever.
Agreed. Fallout New Vegas.
New Vegas.
Best Fallout.
And
in our opinion,
they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that right.
Oh yeah.
What's funny is we talked about this a little bit. So Starfield was a game that was supposed to be shown off too.
Yep.
That's from Bethesda. It's supposed to be a outer interdimensional version of Skyrim or Fallout. Outer Worlds is that,
but better.
So if Outer Worlds comes out and it's amazing, and Bethesda tries to come back with Starfield, different time. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. I don't want to jump back into
comparatives
Bethesda.
for a different day.
We've already given them too much stuff to talk about. So yeah, you said Fallout. We have Outer Worlds. We have Death Stranding.
Yep.
And Borderlands.
Yeah.
In November. So November looks really good, but a lot of these games are coming out in 2020 that they showed off.
If not 90% of the games that they announced at E3 are all 2020 releases.
And I don't know how you feel about that. I like it a little bit because it gives me time to see
prepare my wallet.
Yeah, just prepare for the fact that I'm gonna be broke.
Yeah.
But also I think with the new systems coming out next year, it gives us something to look forward to maybe buy for that system. Now I know they said that most of these games are gonna be backwards compatible with whatever the PlayStation 5 is gonna be called. And
PS5, I'm assuming.
We would hope. Unless they do something stupid, PlayStation X. I'd
kind of take that though.
I would too, but I mean, I'm gonna buy it regardless.
Right? Yeah.
But anyways, like, just knowing that these games are going to be coming out for PlayStation 5-ish.
Well, see, here's the
why
thing.
Would you buy them for the 4?
Right.
Or would you just buy them for the 4 and then they'll be backwards compatible? There's a lot of things going on. It just seems really weird that none of the big stuff is coming out this year. Like, they just pushed everything back.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing that gets me is that I believe I'm right with quoting this, that Sony said that Last of Us 2, Part 2, will be the last game released on the PS4. And that just got pushed back, meaning that if Final Fantasy VII comes out March 3rd, that the PS5 is going to be coming out this holiday.
No, there's no way.
Then they can't confirm. Then they can't they can't hold up on The Last of Us being the last game on the PS4, unless they decide to release them.
Well, maybe what they mean is that, like, production-wise, they won't. So, like, if they're probably gonna do, there's no way they're gonna drop PlayStation 5 this year. And well, heck,
They could.
No, you're right. They could. They
could blow us all away and drop this 2019.
Or they just don't drop it at all, and then they go to 2020 and have a holiday battle with Xbox again.
Yeah.
And if they do that, maybe that is when they don't drop The Last of Us until 2021.
True.
Which then, if that's the truth, then that may be the last game that they make for the PS4.
It might. Production-wise, you could be right. The last game that's produced on the PS4.
I just don't like the fact that all of these really awesome games are getting announced, and they all got pushed back to next year, which means that these companies are going to say, okay, let's drop the games early, all at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and then the rest of the year is going to be very, like 2019.
And then they're going to set up for the new system, and then sell all of these games again on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox.
Well, I mean,
whatever.
it's smart from a business standpoint because people are still going to buy it.
It is, but it's just I don't like it. I wish they would just say, hey, like, I wish PlayStation would have came so we can be like, hey, PlayStation 5's coming out next year.
Yep.
And guess what games are coming out for the PlayStation 5? You got Final Fantasy 7. You got Last of Us. You got Death Stranding. You got Ghost of Tsushima. You got Elden Ring. You got Star Wars, Fallen Order. All this is coming out on the new system. Instead of marketing it towards the system. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan. Like, because like
that all leads back to the whole PlayStation
There's no reason
thing,
right now. What's the reason for me to buy a PlayStation 5?
Right.
Outside of, like, knowing the specs, which are cool. I don't have an 8K TV, so I don't need it for that.
Right.
Why would I buy it on launch? There's no game so far that is being exclusive with it. And for the Xbox, which we'll get into a little bit later, it's being announced with Halo Infinite, which, that's cool. But I can also buy it on my PC apparently now.
Right.
So
well, through Game Pass.
yeah. So just kind of go back to our question because we kind of rambled. Do you agree, yes or no, that there's a lack of games coming out this year as opposed to next year?
You know, that since we've been talking about it, I've really had a chance to think about it. If you think about it, E3 this year was a lot like E3 last year.
Mm-hmm.
E3 last year had, oh my god, like, oh, you got this game, all coming out 2019, right at the beginning of the year. Like with Kingdom Hearts 3, for instance. Kingdom Hearts came out in January.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if you think about it, the end of this year, like, November, you've only got maybe a handful of games coming out, but the rest of the year is very dry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to repeat the same thing that they did last year into 2020. All these great games are going to come out right at the start, right at the beginning of the year, and then the middle to back half of the year is going to be very dry again. I'm happy, I have to say. It gives me time because me, personally, I buy a lot of games. And I don't necessarily have the time to play all these games.
Yeah.
So when they say, oh, these games are all coming out next year, that makes part of me happy because it's like, well, at least now I have time to actually play and get my money's worth out of the games I've actually bought.
Right.
Instead of buying a game like, oh, Final Fantasy, now I gotta buy Tales of Rise, now I gotta go buy Elden Ring. And I've had barely any time to play Final Fantasy 7.
Right, and like we're gonna end up buying FF all the
All
DLC for 14 and playing through those.
Oh yeah,
and especially if that's a subscription game, I want to be able to play it. So I do agree with you there. Not having all these other games would be nice. I still haven't even played Final Fantasy 10 or 12 on my Switch.
Neither have I.
And I would like to play those two. So yeah, I agree with that. Now, compared to last year though, how would we rate this E3 compared to last year? Goes for now. I'm assuming we're both gonna say it's probably gonna be lower than last year.
See, I'm on the other end. I think it was better than last year's. Yeah. Okay.
So give me a rating of what you thought last year was and what you thought this year was.
Like scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Last year I'd say was probably about.
We can go from 1 can be Bethesda.
No.
10... no. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably have to say I'd rate it somewhere about like an 8 or a 9. 8 or 7.
Last year?
8 or 7. Probably leaning more towards 8, yeah.
Okay.
Strictly based on the fact is that I got Kingdom Hearts 3. That is my favorite game above all else, is Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
And the fact that they showed me more about that and gave me a release date for it was beyond insane.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I got not only Final Fantasy VII, gameplay for Final Fantasy VII, a release date for Final Fantasy VII, Marvel Avengers, which I've been looking forward to, Final Fantasy VIII being remastered, all of that just through Square.
Yeah.
And then adding everything else on top of it. Even Doom. Even though Bethesda was bad, even though I got to see more about Doom, it definitely rated this year's at a solid 9 or 10.
Okay. I would give... So I think last year had more shock value for me. So seeing the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 3, I was there with you.
Oh, yeah.
Cried my eyes out.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Sekiro. Seeing... the trailer for Halo Infinite for the first time, seeing Resident Evil 2, seeing Devil May Cry 5, there was seeing Ghost of Tsushima, like seeing all this stuff, it made me jump out of my seat. I was like, oh my god. This year, obviously 7 was great. Seeing the Elder Ring, heck, seeing the in the Nintendo Direct where they're talking about how they're working on a sequel for Breath of the Wild. That was really cool. Outside of that, I wasn't like super excited about a lot of the stuff because they showed us stuff that we've already seen. If they would have announced Borderlands 3 at E3, my head would have exploded. Like
I could agree with that.
Like seeing Cyberpunk, we've been talking about Cyberpunk for 4 E3s now.
Yeah.
So
but they dropped their own bombshells in their own little specific ways. Like Keanu.
That was cool, but like it's like there wasn't enough of a oomph. Like even Keanu could not take this over the top for me. I know it's sad. I know this is a sad day, Chris. I think last year's I give last year's an 8.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of good stuff last year. I think this year I give it a 7, just off the fact of how weak most of the conferences were and the fact that Sony wasn't there.
I can respect that.
If Sony was there and they did, and if they did the same thing that Nintendo did, which was just mediocre, it would have been better than last year. But the fact that Sony wasn't there and there wasn't enough, it was basically Xbox and Square, and then Nintendo's in the middle, and Ubisoft and Bethesda are in the gutter. They had like one or two cool things, and the rest of it was just BS.
Yeah,
it was a lot of just filler time for me.
I can respect that.
In particular, so I'm hoping that next year is better, game wise. I hope E3 next year we get a lot more gameplay.
Oh yeah,
and less
bullshit.
2-minute trailers, and then it's coming out soon.
Right.
So this will lead us into our next topic. So our next topic is going over the kind of the elephant in the room that we saw with E3 this year, which is the streaming battles is about to happen.
Oh yeah.
Like this is going to be like the 1,000-year war or the 100-year war, whatever the Final Fantasy phrase is. That game. Did you ever play that?
I have no clue what the fuck you're talking about.
It's a tactics game where you get to play as Delta.
I think it's the 1,000-year war.
Yeah. So right before E3, Google had their own little conference thing, and they showed off the Stadia.
Yeah. Very excited for that.
I may buy one.
I might as well.
I think I'm gonna buy one.
I want to see more about it, but I'm leaning more towards probably end up getting it.
I'm probably gonna buy one. It's the first little system that I've been excited about since the PS4.
Yeah.
And so you have that, which is going to be its own platform, its own streaming service. You then have Xbox talking about doing the Game Pass, which is a really good deal.
Oh, really?
You get
from $10 from Game Pass and then Ultimate for only $5 more.
Yeah, you get you get Xbox Game Pass for the Xbox.
Yeah.
You get Game Pass for the PC, and you get Xbox Live for $15 a month. Now I'm pretty sure you can only buy that through
Microsoft,
through the actual Microsoft store on
probably
PC or GameStop, Best Buy, Target probably won't sell that card.
No,
they're trying to remove them from the equation.
I think they're all trying to essentially bump out retailer stores.
Yeah, which is a smart thing for them because they get to keep more profit.
Yeah, the profit goes directly to them, not through a middleman.
Yeah. So you have that. You have Bethesda announced the Orion, which they like. Oh, cool! You can stream the 2016 version of Doom. 2 thumbs up. So that was kind of stupid because they showed off Doom from 2016 and not like a demo of Doom Eternal.
New Doom Eternal.
So we didn't really hear much. We were kind of confused, but it's apparently going to be.
They didn't really go into it that much.
They said it's a streaming app, but then they were using like a handheld device to play it. So is that what the Orion is? But it looks like something that's going to rival the Stadia, possibly, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Rivaling, we don't know like how much better it will do, or not at all. And then Ubisoft announced Uplay Plus.
Yeah.
Which is a very good deal as well. I'm assuming PlayStation's going to do something too.
Well, they kind of have that now with PlayStation Now.
Yeah, I mean, doing a big announcement with their streaming stuff because they did. Is that what PlayStation Now is?
PlayStation Now is just a streaming service.
Okay.
You can play PS3 games, some PS4 games.
Like
PS2 games.
Doing like a bigger, you can play PlayStation 1 games.
That might be how Sony announces backwards compatibility for all we know.
So, and PlayStation's already pulled all of their digital games from retailers.
Yeah.
No retailers can sell digital games anymore. I'm assuming Xbox is going to be there. I'm assuming Nintendo will probably be down the road from doing that. So with all of the stuff going in, are we going to get to the point where it's getting there, I think. I just don't know how soon, with digital games being the only thing that people buy.
Yeah.
And that you buy your games through a subscription service.
See, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm all for games becoming digital. As much as I am a collector and I like seeing all my game cases on my shelf, I am still all for games being 100% digital. It is convenient. I can agree to that. But I don't know how I feel about being a subscription based.
So, I will piggyback off of that. We are both collectors. Thomas, who's not here, he's also a big collector.
Oh yeah.
If I can buy a deluxe version of Final Fantasy VII, and I can get a collectible steelbook and all the other stuff in one box, you just put the code in the box, I will buy it.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
That's cool with me. I'm not okay with them saying, hey, you want all this digital content, you have to buy the digital version, and there's no physical entities anymore that you're going to be purchasing. I don't want that. I want to be able to spend $200 on a collector's
I want to
edition
look
for a
at
game.
it.
Yeah, like I have the Sekiro one. I bought the Kingdom Hearts one. Back when Final Fantasy X-2 came out, about that. Dark Souls 2, Mortal Kombat. I bought a lot of this, and I want to continue to be able to do that. And if it's a digital game, so be it. But as long as I'm able to do that, I'm cool with it. Now to go with the digital part, I think we will get to the point where they're not going to sell any more physical CDs.
I agree. I definitely, because I mean, they're starting to do it now.
Yeah, they are. It's getting more to that now. And,
yeah.
We saw that Xbox, they announced, hey, if you pre-order Gears of War 5 through Xbox Game Pass, you get it 4 days early, and you get the Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
not Tomb Raider. Terminator.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider. Yeah,
Lara Croft.
No, you get the Tomb Raider, the Terminator. Jesus, the Terminator.
There you go. I'll be back.
Yeah. You get that, like a DLC pack with that.
Yeah.
Was there another game that announced Terminator stuff too?
There was. I don't remember what it was.
Because we argued about. Oh no, we
were like, you can't do the same thing. You can't put Terminator in both of them.
Oh,
you've stolen
Ghost
the show.
Recon.
Yes, that's it.
Ghost Recon. They put that in there, and I'm thinking, why did you just put Rambo in there? Because there's a new Rambo movie.
Right, and it's more modern day than it is futuristic, like Terminator.
Yeah. So. There looks like they're trying to in that deal that Gears of War thing. I checked at other places like Amazon and GameStop. You can't do that.
Really?
It's only through Game Pass. So they're like, look, bruh, you can sell our consoles, but you ain't getting any more of these deals.
Oh yeah, no.
And I think this is going to be the end of a lot of these retailers selling games.
Oh yeah, like GameStop and Best Buy and. I hate to even say it, like the Exchange might even take a big hit. The Exchange has got a different market, but they might even take a big hit.
A lot of people probably don't know what the Exchange is. Is
that just a here thing?
I think so. We live in Ohio, so this is the Exchange is like a record store kind of thing. It's like
that's grown more into collectible service and a lot of games.
Yeah. So, but they sell a lot of older stuff, but they sell newer games too.
Right.
But they don't sell digital. I don't think I've ever seen
They don't sell digital stuff, but I think they'd take a hit.
Yeah, they would. So we can kind of agree that it's definitely a bad thing in that sense. If they do it wrong.
But there's a right and wrong way to introduce this into the gaming community.
Listen, Sony, if you're listening, Sony.
Sony.
If you give me a 4 terabyte PlayStation 5,
sold.
You can take my money.
Oh yeah.
Don't sell me a 1 terabyte new system.
Oh Jesus.
And say, hey, you need to buy an external hard drive. I'll buy an external hard drive.
Won't be happy about it.
If I get a bigger base hard drive to go off, or if I can add my own hard drive to it.
Yeah. If upgradable, that would be a nice.
If I can upgrade my hard drive, I'll buy it. But I'm not buying a 1 terabyte hard drive system off launch this time.
No.
I know it was a big thing with the 4 being 1 terabyte.
Yeah, well, because it makes sense because most of the games aren't taking up that large of space yet.
And I think they know that.
They're starting to get there.
I think they know that. Yeah. They're not going to do a 1 terabyte. I'm just saying, just to clarify, if they do that, they're stupid.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but it's
agreed.
It is a possibility. And kind of go back to Stadia. And you brought this up right before we got started here. The Oculus Quest.
Yeah.
Being a
wireless virtual reality.
Wireless virtual reality. We're getting closer to that, and that's a streaming device.
Is it?
Yes.
See, I'm not still 100% on it.
It looked like a streaming device.
I feel like it could be a streaming device. You're right.
Stadia is a streaming device.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting into these systems just being these small little things, dinky things that do this, and I think it's a good thing. I think I'm not going to be paying $100 a month to play 4 different systems.
No.
That's not happening.
No.
So it's like you have to pick and choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
Again, like you said before, there's a right way to introduce this, especially with the Oculus Quest and Stadia. There's a right way to introduce this into the community of gaming. There's a wrong way to do it.
Let me ask you a question, because you have PlayStation now, right?
I don't, but I did.
Okay.
I had it for a long time. I just never. Yeah.
I'm pretty cheap. I don't buy it. Were you able to download games?
No.
Okay. So there's my problem.
You stream them.
That's my problem.
And that's what I think a lot of issue I'm seeing with Stadia and maybe the Oculus Quest, if that is a streaming. This is all based on your internet. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a good enough internet, you are screwed.
So with PlayStation Plus, with games that go on sale, when you buy them and download them, if you lose your PlayStation Plus, you can't play those games anymore.
Nope.
See, this is the problem.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I have an issue with. Mm-hmm. Is that if I'm downloading a game and I'm paying $60 for it, that is my fucking game.
Yeah, that's mine.
Don't tell me I need to spend another $60 a year to play this game that I spent $60 on.
Right.
Now I know it's like, well, you have multiplayer games and you do that for anyways. That's not shut up. That's not what I'm talking about. Those people.
Right. Like, what about people like me and you who prefer playing not multiplayer games, RPGs?
If I buy Final Fantasy VII, the remastered version of Final Fantasy VII, a digital version of this game, and then you're gonna make me in 2 years when the new system comes out, or 1 year or whatever, you're gonna make me pay $15 a month to play this game, I'm losing my mind.
I'd have to agree.
Like that cannot happen. And I think a lot of people do feel that same way. You cannot make us do that. Like, it's stupid. I mean, they're gonna make us do it. Like in some fashion. Like, they're gonna make us pay.
They're gonna have their own streaming service.
Yeah, and I don't want that to happen. If you guys feel the same way, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I want to know how everybody feels about the streaming stuff. And now the last thing we were gonna talk about. Ow, that hurt. I hit myself with my pencil.
Dum.
The last thing we were going to talk about is just kind of recapping the Xbox console a little bit, kind of what we know about it, and seeing, the impact that it could have in the console universe. So with the Xbox, we know it's Project Scarlet now.
Yeah, Project Scarlet, as far as we're aware of.
Release date, holidays 2020.
Yep.
They total set.
Launches with Halo Infinite.
What are some of the details on this system?
Not too much that I'm aware of. I'm not a big Microsoft fan, so I really don't keep up to date too much on it, as much as I probably should.
Okay.
I know that they just announced something very large with backwards compatibility. They're updating more Xbox and Xbox 360 games with their backwards compatibility list. That could be very huge for them.
Especially if they do, I know you were saying this earlier, if they do like Xbox.
Like the original Xbox. Yeah. The hulking beast of a machine. Based on just weight alone.
I got one of those thrown at me.
That's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, that person not friendly anymore.
Could have killed you.
Probably, yeah.
But I definitely have some very large concerns with Microsoft, and as far as the whole point of making this new system.
Okay, so before we get into that, I do have a list, though, of the details that I kind of scrapped up.
Go for it.
And they talked about some of this stuff, or most of this. Up to 8K.
Yep.
Which is nice for people who can afford an 8K TV.
We cannot.
We're not there yet. It has an SSD drive.
Yeah.
Woo. So does my computer.
Right.
It's 40 times the power performance-wise as the Xbox One. They said Xbox. They didn't say Xbox One S, One X. I'm assuming the One.
Yeah.
Because the X is already really good.
Exactly.
There's no way it's 40 times the performance of a Xbox One X. There's no way. There's no way. 120 FPS. My computer does that in its sleep. So they're trying, baby steps.
Yeah.
They worked with AMD to create a processing system, which is good. That's good. And 2020 release. That's kind of what I have. No price yet.
Nope.
Which we'll do a price update later, but we'll do a little like what we think the price will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me your opinion on the new system. I'm very curious because I know. So Jake is not, and Thomas is not either. They're not Xbox people.
No.
And
not in the slightest.
And before you take pitchforks at them, they both own PCs, so a lot of stuff they can play on the PC.
Right.
I'm a fan of Xbox. I do not own an Xbox anymore. I got rid of my S, just because I don't play it a lot. And any game that I can play, there's no real reason to have an Xbox. I'm sure you're going to talk about this. Is because of outside of Halo and Gears, what else?
What am I buying?
And apparently now, as you told me, you can buy those on the PC.
Yeah.
Gears 5 and Halo Infinite will be on PC.
Well, not on PC through Game Pass, and this is kind of what I want to cover.
But I mean through PC though,
right?
Technically, so you go ahead and go through that.
This is exactly what I want to cover on. You brought it up a little bit. I don't understand their whole point if they're putting Xbox Game Pass on the PC, where most people, if you're a big gamer, like most of the world is, you have a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not a build your own PC, maybe only a gaming laptop, or maybe a really like a run-of-the-mill PC. Why on earth would I buy this new Xbox, which is gonna cost whatever amount of money it may be? If I own a PC, why on earth am I gonna go out and buy this Xbox when I could just turn around, pay $15 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, and get Halo Infinite and get Gears on my PC?
I agree.
Which would probably run better if you take care of your PC and you are a PC gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Will probably run better than the Xbox Scarlet, we'll call it for now.
Yeah.
I don't see a huge advantage to it. From a business standpoint, which is something I like to look at every now and then, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Why spend the money making this system when you're putting these games that used to be exclusive and used to be the only reason I bought an Xbox on your PC? Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, by all means, Microsoft, you are Windows, do it. It's smart. But it's not smart to make... You're competing with yourself. Mm-hmm. Why am I going to buy PC when I can just buy an Xbox? Mm-hmm. Why am I going to buy an Xbox when I could just get a PC and then I can play far more games in the PC than the Xbox can play? Mm-hmm. It doesn't make a lot of sense. They're shooting themselves in the foot by spending all this money making the system that I don't think is going to sell well, based on the fact that I can get all these Xbox exclusive games on my PC.
So, before I'm going to play devil's advocate for the Xbox.
Naturally.
Before I get into that, do you think it's going to sell... Was there an over and under on selling better than the Xbox One did at launch? Because remember, the Xbox One didn't do well at launch either because of the whole Kinect having to be on bullshit that they tried to pull on us.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to be more or less?
Based on that information, I feel like it's going to sell better than the Xbox One did initially on launch.
Okay.
I still don't think it's going to do that hot. I think it's going to just narrowly oversell the Xbox One.
Okay, so just a slight increase.
A slight increase. I still think, and I might be a bit biased here, but this is based, I'm trying to make my opinions based as unbiased as it can. Depending on what Sony says at the state of play.
Hey guys, I love PlayStation games. I hate Microsoft games. I'm gonna not be biased.
I'm trying not to be as biased. I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can. Depending on what Sony says next, whenever their state of play is, I feel the PS5 has a very large chance of outselling the new Xbox.
Okay. So for me, as if I'm getting myself into the Xbox mind, right. I think this is a good idea for Microsoft.
Okay.
Reason why? They need to still compete. If they do not bring out an Xbox, people will either stay on the Xbox One or they will buy PlayStation. Not everybody has a PC to where they can play even Halo 5. Okay? Not now, I'm going off of like, you have a 12-year-old like, hey mom, I want a new Xbox. Oh hey, little Johnny, tough shit, there's no Xbox coming out this year. Mom, I need a i7 processor computer with a 1080 graphics card in it for around $1,000, mom. No. So that's what I think that they would fear, is that I think they want to, I don't think they want to release a console. I agree with you. I don't think I don't think they should. Because of that. But if I'm thinking of it from their standpoint, they have to. Because if they don't, they're just gonna get ran over by Sony, and even maybe Nintendo. I think this is also a good idea because they can start to feel out how the Stadia is gonna do, and whatever other streaming systems that come out that are big, maybe Amazon does one, to where they can go, okay, this stuff's good. People are really, really gravitating toward this. They may not be the first of their kind, but they could come up and go, okay, we have a lot of money behind us. Let's put out a really good streaming-only device. And there's another device that they're coming out with this year called the Cloud X. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
It's a standard, or that's like the project name.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Xbox One S with no CD drive.
Right.
And that's probably their start of going, okay, maybe when this new Scarlet comes out, quote unquote, we can release a disk drive system and a non-disk drive system. And they can get people started to just buy, they can go, okay, I'm buying this digital version of this. That way they get all the money. No one's going to any retailer to buy games.
Right.
They're buying it all through us.
Exactly.
And I think the reason why they're not just putting everything on PC is because not everyone's going to buy a PC. Not everyone wants a PC. And they can make that shit cross-platform, man. Like Fortnite, Final Fantasy 14, Call of Duty's going to be this way, I guess, next year. Is you can, like, let's say your friends play on computer and you play on Xbox, you guys are playing Gears. Hey, now you guys can play together. It's bringing people together instead of separating them or making them say, hey, the only way to play this, gotta buy this now. We're not doing this anymore. Do I think they will get to the point where they're never going to make another console again? Yes. I think there will be one more console after this that is considered a console, but it's a streaming device. That I think will be I think this is the last physical CD, Blu-ray, whatever the fuck it's called, console where you take a disc, put it in
Disc drive,
and play it.
Right.
I think this is the last one. I think after this, we're going to all streaming devices, and people are going to buy that stuff there, which makes me really sad.
Right.
I want to cry, but I think
I'm tearing up on the inside.
I think that's what's going to happen. Price-wise, give me your thoughts.
And this is all going back to that whole
just knowing what we know.
Going off of what we know and basing this on my previous argument of a PC, it really all does depend on how much the system costs. If it's going to cost, from what I've heard of rumors, $800 is absurd.
It is.
Now, being a smart consumer, why would I spend $800 on this new Xbox when I could just save $200 more, get a PC that's going to outclass that Xbox, and have a bunch more games to play? But that's back to my argument of that. But it all really just does depend on how much the system costs. If it's going to cost a fraction less than what a PC does, yeah, it makes sense. But if from what I'm hearing is true, it's going to be quite expensive.
So you're saying $800 then?
That's what I feel. That's the rumors I've heard go around.
So if it's $800 though, what if the PlayStation 5 is $800?
I'll still buy it.
See?
I'll still buy it because I've never had a problem with PlayStation. I've always had problems with Xbox.
But I'm just putting out there like you would spend that money.
Yes.
You would. Because you are a PlayStation fan.
Right.
There's no reason for you to buy the Xbox in your mind.
From being a PlayStation fan, yes, but also being as unbiased as I can. I own an Xbox One. I never use it.
Yeah.
Because any game that I can get on my Xbox, I can get on my PlayStation. I just prefer the way the PlayStation performs. But trying to be as unbiased as I can, I don't see the need for it because I own a PC.
So there will be someone who, if it's $800, they're gonna buy it.
Yeah.
It's gonna get sold. I think the Xbox Scarlet will sell more than the Xbox One did. This is a hot take, and we're gonna revisit this whenever it happens. So you said $800, right?
Roughly.
Okay.
In that price range.
I think both the PlayStation whatever and the Scarlet will be $1,000.
Really? Yeah.
I think they'll both be $1,000. I think if I think they're gonna try to market it as the last system and it's gonna be able to do.
That's the rumor going around.
It's gonna do all the streaming stuff, and it's if they make it larger, they make it like 4 terabytes. If they make it super backwards compatible, all of this other shit. If they do that, I think it's going to be $1,000 for both.
Oh yeah.
And I think people are gonna get really pissed off because when the one came out, the one was like what, $600, and then they dropped it down
because people were getting pissed off about it.
Getting pissed off. The PS4 was $400. Right?
$450,
something
like
like
that in that range.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be $1,000. and I think people are gonna get really pissed. People are gonna buy it. People are gonna buy it, and then once the holidays drop, they'll probably go down to. I think they'll go down to a base of like $500, $600.
Yeah.
Because of the way technology is going now, and how these games are getting more realistic and they're getting more, system, demanding. They can't keep dropping the price of it without taking shit out.
No.
So I'm sticking with I'm sticking with the grand. You're going about $800
roughly.
I think they'll drop down to 600 afterwards. But that's just me. So yeah, we talked about a lot.
Oh yeah, we covered definitely a lot.
Any last words that you want to talk about?
Keanu Reeves, you are my Lord and Savior.
Okay.
Please be in more games. I saw a meme that said he was going to be in Elder Scrolls 6, and now it's got my hopes up.
I hope not.
Keanu Scrolls 6, Legend of Keanu. Make it happen.
Anything like real though.
Anything real. Overall, I'm glad to say I'm very pleased with this year's E3. I think it was better than last year's. You don't. That's fine. I can definitely see why you didn't think it was better than the E3 last year. And I can respect that, but I'm very pleased, and I'm excited to see what the future brings.
I respect that, but you go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I respect that, but you're a garbage person.
Yeah. I don't have really anything to say about it.
I'm excited to see where everything goes.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this is all based on what's happening in the future.
Yeah, and we'll be, the podcast should be, we're thinking every 2 weeks for now.
Roughly.
Maybe.
Just to get things in the gear, see how everything feels out.
We're going to just slowly, we feel quality over quantity.
Yes.
And
for now,
we would like to start doing it more.
Oh, yeah.
But we need more stuff to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to just start baby steps here. So thank you guys for listening. Be sure to subscribe in whichever platform you are watching this on.
Oh, yeah.
And, let us know what you guys think. If you guys like what you guys hear, we'd love to hear it. If you guys don't like what you guys hear, we'd love to hear it.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. And thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys next time.
Adios.
It's a weird way to end it.
I always do that. That's how I say goodbye to people. Adios.